Would you like something to help you manage the disclosure laws in alternative finance when you're doing any kind of your funding? I know those laws can be a pain to navigate. You have your dev team build something really cool that could just integrate into your software. So anytime anyone has any questions about it, like, hey, I don't understand how this works in Utah. Wait, do we have to do that in Colorado? Is there a law in Colorado? These are questions that you could ask your handy little legal assistant to help you go through those disclosure laws. And that's really what we're gonna talk about today. In our previous video, we've talked about how to build a GPT that you can use just totally in the UI of ChatGPT. Now that's awesome, but let's say you don't wanna pay for the GPT Plus, which you should, by the way, you should pay for a GPT Plus for all of them. But if you don't want to, or if you wanna just integrate it directly into your software where you can ask questions, or maybe you wanna modify it a little bit more with code, that's what we're gonna do today. So this is gonna be a code tutorial. We're gonna write in Node.js. We're gonna use a lot of the API section. So this is kind of more for the developers out there, and hopefully we'll have a good time. Now I'm gonna get right into it. Again, Jordan Hansen from Beyond Banks with Cobalt Intelligence. We do a lot of work here in AI automation, all in the alternative finance space. Here we go. Now this is assistance. This is a beta section of ChatGPT that just came out. I'm gonna create a new one. I've had some test ones I've kind of messed around with here. And so we're gonna just start here like that. We're gonna create a new assistant. And I'm kind of just gonna get into this. And this is in platform.openai. Like you can see the URL here, platform.openai.com. You can find these things where you can do playground and also fine tuning, whatever, this stuff. We're just gonna talk about assistants here. So let's go over here. We're gonna enter it and it's gonna be alt-fin disclosure legal helper. You are to help me navigate the disclosure laws in the alternative finance industry. Always reference your files and knowledge base. Always respond with a citation of where the law comes from. If you can't find anything that's related in your knowledge base, tell the user that. You will also have a file. I'm gonna have code interpreter on and file retrieval on. We're gonna use this. You also have a file helper, a file that has the links of the disclosure law statutes. Provide this link to the user with every question. Here we go. Model, we're gonna use GPT 1106 preview, and we're gonna have code interpreter and retrievals for files. So it allows you to handle these knowledge files. Code interpreter is going to be able to handle like the CSV file we're going to add in here. So I'm going to add those files. I have them here in my downloads, and you can see right here, I've already have all the California, all the disclosure laws. I've already just downloaded them as PDF and converted them to PDFs. So you can find them here. And then I have a link here to the alternative finance disclosure law. So all that data we're going to add right here. Now the files right here in the assistants, it's just okay right now. It's kind of buggy. Like if you try to add another file, like PDFs, it works well with. CSVs, it works fine with. But let's say I have this file right here, this TS file, right, which is a TypeScript file. If I try to add that, nope, not supported. It said invalid file format, even though it says TS right here is a supported format. So don't know, not there yet. So just so you know, that's not there yet, but PDFs and CSVs, it seems to handle fine. So we're gonna save that. So that's how we're gonna create our assistant. Now you can create all this assistant in the API as well. You can also update it, change it, do all of that within the API, but we're just gonna do it here just for ease. And we're gonna need this ID. So I'm just gonna come over here and copy it. Actually, I can just double click it and copy it there. That's a little bit easier. And then we're gonna go to the code. So here we have our code. And I've kind of built some of this kind of thing before, so I'm kind of gonna leverage some, well, let me make this bigger. Like a full screen, right there. I'm gonna get rid of that side stuff. And what we have here, we're gonna be doing this in TypeScript with Node.js. I'm gonna have package.json just for a little bit longer, and we're just gonna have a start script. And I have that built into my package.json. The dependencies I'm using are TypeScript for my dev dependencies along with Node, and then I'm using the AWS SDK. And this is strictly to handle my API key. And this right here is just to be able to access OpenAI. So if you wanna use an environment variable to get your API key, that's totally fine as well. And then I built a script right here. This is something that just deletes my disk folder every time. It transpiles the TypeScript and then runs the index file, so which is right here. So I'm gonna close that and then get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna say const assistant ID equals that. All right, this is that thing we copied, that ID. You can also, was testing around and you can call the assistants right here. So how the process works is kind of, well, I'm gonna get some code in here and then we'll kind of show you how this goes here. I'm gonna go over to my reference code so I can have kind of something to go through. Now, how the assistants work, you gotta kind of think about it in this right here. It's not like just a typical API where you're gonna ask and then come back. It's gonna have the context of this conversation. So how it typically works is you're gonna have a thread that you're gonna create. And that's really the context of the conversation. And then each time you're gonna run it, and that's gonna send new data or not, and then it takes time for it to come back, and then you have some kind of thing that checks back in, and then when it's complete, it can get the data back to you. And so this thread is always, that way your assistant can have all the context associated with this conversation. You'll see that as we go through there, and we'll keep doing that. So I just wanted to give some context of how this is gonna work. Let's get back to it. So I'm gonna come over here, and how it's going to work is we're gonna start with the thread that we're gonna create, right? So it's gonna be something like this. Const thread equals await OpenAI beta dot assist dot threads dot create. And then the role, or then we're gonna have our messages that we're gonna send. So you can start with all of your messages, but this is kind of the thing that's gonna go back and forth. It's like this. And we're gonna send, this is kind of similar to previous ones that have happened like this, but we're gonna send it as a user. Our content is gonna be whatever question we're looking to add. So if you were doing this, you'd wanna have your first question to be this content here, whatever they're gonna ask first. So you can say something like, hey, tell me about the dates I need to know about in California, like that. That will be our message to start with. So we're gonna come over here and bam, we're ready to run. So we have our thread to start with, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna create a run. We're gonna say let run equals await OpenAI dot beta dot threads, no, beta dot threads, yes, dot runs dot create. We're gonna create a new one based off of that, and what we do is we pass it first the thread ID, then we pass it the assistant we want it to run on, like that. So we got that. So we have our assistant ID, and that's what we use. So now it knows which assistant to use as it goes through and creates this run. And then I have this loop that I go through, and because really this is like a long polling thing. So it's something like this. And I even put a timeout here. I'm gonna kind of copy and paste here what I have, but I'll run through it. So what it is while run.status is not completed and it hasn't failed, then we're gonna keep looping. And I even have a pause here, so it pauses every second, so it's not just hitting it every time. And then what it's gonna do is retrieve the thread, essentially. So it's threads, runs, it retrieves the status. And that's how it's gonna come back. And we're gonna come through here. I don't think we're gonna need any of, I have some other stuff where we handle function calls. So I'm gonna put this in here. So that kind of runs it. So it's gonna keep going until, that way this loop will just continue until it finishes. So it's gonna come over here, and then it's say if run.status has failed, then we return this and we end it, right? And we're gonna tell, I'm logging out kind of what happened. And so I don't expect this to happen, but this is just kind of handling this error scenario. Otherwise, we want it to like list out the return. So we're gonna say const response equals await OpenAI dot beta dot threads messages dot list thread dot ID. So this is gonna give us the messages. And again, think of this like it's a chat going back and forth. And so that we're gonna ask our question, which is gonna be the first, and then the second is gonna be their response. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the last message. And so we got our final response, I should say, messages list right here. And then we're gonna say, okay, const, I'm gonna say console.log, I'll just log it out. And I wanna get final message. It's gonna be something like this. I'm gonna be messages list, kind of like that. So we wanna get the last one, and then we're gonna get the content. I think that's all. We're gonna get the content that comes back from that. And I'm gonna run this right now, and we'll kind of look at how it works from here. But the idea is that it asks this question. Now, if you're writing your code, what you do is like, you're gonna return that back to them, this data, right, whatever this is. And then what they could do is anything back, they could add that question. And so we'll just go through it. So it's gonna run through and ask that question. It should be checking through our files, and then it's gonna come back with an answer. And hopefully it has those things that we told it to have, such as citations, references, all of that kind of information. The coolest thing about this is you're going through and it's doing this while. It's processing right now. It's going through and checking all of this data. The document indicates that a range of new sections regarding commercial will come into effect on July 1st, 2024 in California. Some of the key provisions include the use of commercial financing forms. Should we go double check to make sure? Let's see. So if I go look over, I'm gonna try to make sure. Look at that California law. Did it have a time? It said section, ooh, look at that, that's bad. The information is based on the document titled Kinetic, which is assumed to have relevant text for, does it not have, I asked about California, didn't I? Didn't I put California up there? Let's double check here. California disclosure law right there. It only got the one. Okay, we need to go update our assistant instructions here. Always reference your files in knowledge base. Always respond with the citation if you can't find anything. Tell the user that. Do not assume anything. Everything must come from a disclosure document. Okay, we're gonna do that and just add that in there. We're gonna try it again. There we go. System, let's try it again. So this is really the biggest part, is learning how to do good prompts. And that's really the biggest thing you have to look for when building this kind of tool. So we're gonna go through it right there. But I do kind of want to be able to accept more. Yeah, like that. I'm just gonna do this really fast. Okay, just built that whole thing for me. So it expects more. So it logs it out and then it expects it. Let's see if what it's gonna look like. Typically you're gonna hook this into like a UI. I'm just gonna cut that out because I don't want it to be there. But this is the idea, right? Is it's gonna go through here. Now let's make sure that prompt, hopefully that helped us out. That contains laws related to prohibited fees and remedies for violations rather than, I don't know how this sources. I thought this was in annotations. I don't see it here though. See, this is not enough. Now we'd return. How do we get that to, I'm gonna add this into a function so I can do it even more. Like this. I want this to be created, so I have my run, all this part right here. I created it with the thread start of this. So I have my thread here. And this is like what I want to be able to do. I'm gonna go refactor this, say refactor. No, I don't want that new file, I'm gonna go like this. Process. Right there. It's gonna be something like this. We're gonna need a run. We're gonna need, yeah, all that stuff. So, and then it's gonna return that right there. And then we say, yeah, it's false. No, that's not it. That's not what I want. So while it's not completed, prompt for user input. I want it right here, right? But I want it to do it in a loop constantly, so I can say here and say, hey, prompt for user input. So, because I wanted to be able to, I want to be able to ask follow-up questions. So I want it in here. So it's going to start. Let initial run equal true. I'm going to let that. And say if initial run. This is going to be messy a little bit here the first time. All right, don't judge me. So we're going to say const response equals like that. Yeah. Accept user input via. Okay. Something like this. I go, any follow-up questions? Oh, we do. We don't create a new one though. We need to add onto it. Right? Do I do that? Is that what I do? I don't think so. I don't think I need this. I think I want threads. Update, that's what I want. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. No? No? Can I do that? It's in this. So if I go over here, thread update params, just metadata, man, sounds like what I wanted. Update, what about that? There we go. Is that better? Or doesn't it like? Okay. It's in this one. So I go over here and I go body message update params. Also this, come on. Why are you giving me this garbage? Do I need the message ID? I don't want to update the message though. I want to update the thread. They all want these freaking messages.create. I'll create a new, whatever. I don't want to create a new thread. I want to add to it this thread. Let's go like that. What does it say? Does it say modifies or run? Don't think I want that. That's the idea, but that's not it. Maybe metadata, whatever, you piece of garbage. Okay. Hold on, let's see if we can get to the documentation here. Let's go over here. I'm gonna go documentation. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna go assistance. Sometimes this thing is crazy slow. Let's see how assistants work. So if it goes over here, it creates the message. Got the model, we go over here, we create the thread, which we did. It's got it all in here. So it creates the run, yes, run life cycle. Gonna go like this, queued in progress. And now what we do is we create another run. Creates a message on the thread. I'm pretty sure that's what I want. I need to create a message on the thread. So it's a run. And what's inside create? Metadata, right? Assistant ID, instructions. Oh, okay, maybe. Did I add a model up here? Oh no, because it already has a model in the assistant. And the thread should have it too, shouldn't it? So if I go over here, it wants the run create params, which gives me the assistant ID. So in here I get assistant ID. Okay. Why would I want to change my model? That seems not right. Look, it says create, right? How do I add a new message? Add message? Where's messages? Managing threads and messages, this is what I want. This is where it was. New instructions override. I don't want to do that. So you create it with that. You gotta update the thread, surely. It's gotta be that. You gotta be updating the thread. Thread update parameters. I'm pretty sure this is metadata. It's even unknown. No, it doesn't even know what it is. So we have, if I click over here, it wants the string, and then it wants the body, which is an object. Okay, here we go. I think it needs this. This is what I think it needs. If I go here to create, thread create params. Yeah, oh look, it's just freaking metadata. It's the same thing. I don't know why you say that to me. Do what I want. There. And this is the user input. Now one thing I can, and now it's gonna run it again. Bam, completed true. No, it's only completed true, but initial run is correct. So if initial run is, if initial run, else. Yeah, we turn that off. Yeah, oh, we already did log it, don't we? Okay, so it goes like this. Now need to make sure we are blocking here. How do I make sure we're blocking? All right, well, whatever, we're gonna run it. So we have a response here. It's gonna keep going. If input dot includes all done, and we return, right? Completed equals true. There we go. Let's try it. So at some point I should reply. Go log that response twice. That's okay. Is that too zoomed in? It feels really tight to me, but I want to make it legible too. Okay, so it's going in progress. It's making the first call. So it should get out, and at some point it should have this question after. That's good though. That means it's not, it's blocking, I guess. Okay, because it's gonna wait right here. This is what I was afraid of. See, look, it's still going here. Yeah. I know. Stop it. Okay, so any follow-up questions? This needs to be a, I need to block for this. With promise until no, it's like this. Return new promise and something like this. Like this, I think. And then we'll resolve. How about no? Okay. Then we resolve here too. I do it like that? Yeah, like that. Oh, we should block appropriately. In progress, it should return something and then have plenty of follow-up questions, and hopefully that's me typing in now. If I say all done, then it'll just end. That's the goal. Tidy that up. A little tidier. There we go, blocked, okay. The file I reviewed appears to cover California law, including okay, that didn't work. Let's log out what that looks like. Oh, I bet you input is not a string like we think it is. I haven't done standard in forever. User input. If you even call it standard. Well, I mean, that's it, right? STDIN. I can't remember what this stands for. Whatever. That's the idea though. I think whatever I return, it probably came back as an object and I had to pull out the data. This probably isn't a string. See, we're doing this like any, whatever, we're gonna go. In progress. But you get the idea. This is kind of a bonus, if I'm being honest. This talks more, because you're gonna have like a UI where it's asking these questions, but I do wanna give the idea of how you can get access to it. Now, I should say, all this right here, we are going to access, provide access to it. You just have to sign up for our newsletter. Sign up for our newsletter, and we'll provide the link to this code, so you can just use this code yourself or base off of it and just do whatever you want with it. Back to the thing. Okay, any follow-up questions? So apparently, maybe there's no dates on this. Okay, so what about API? It's gonna fail, but I want to see what that thing looks like. That looks like a string to me. I wonder if it has to do with this. So if I come over here, I retrieve, but I didn't really run it again. Well, let me check this. This initial one goes over there. To set it off again, I think. I created it. We need to update it as well. So we have that updated and we say, oh wait. Like that. That's all. I don't want anything else. The dat ID. How about that? Just update it, you know, just run it again, you know. What if I just want to create a run? Okay. What was the other stuff we gave it? All right, so I can use a different assistant. That seems weird, doesn't seem right, but we'll try. Yeah, not this. There we go. Let's try that again. So it comes in there. I wonder if we have to create this new run after, or does the run, I don't know if every single time it's completed we have to come back and create a new run. That kind of makes sense, I guess. Kind of feel like it should get created inside though. Come on, baby. Still going, still going. Look at that, it even has a link for me. Nice. Is that legit? Let's check it. Hey, look at that. Nice job. Got a link for us. Okay, invalid request. So apparently that didn't work. Extra fields not permitted. Doesn't want me to update the thread because I faked it right here. Well, I don't get what this freaking thing is supposed to have. This is metadata. So if I've done this before, let me look at my other code where I did this. And I would give it things back. Those are here, yeah. So we'd do something with the run. There's something on the run. Let's try. What if, so I did when it had questions, right? OpenAI.beta.threads.run. Inside there, if I go create, well, what's inside this? I'm afraid it's just gonna be metadata. Yeah, freaking just metadata. Let's try it. And that was enough, but I can do that. So if I update it right there, that should be enough. Let's try that. I'm sure it's not gonna like this though. I can tell you that much right now. Yeah. Frankly, I don't know why this one works fine. Because all this is metadata too. Like it's just oh, this does have messages. If I go over here and search. Okay. Thread create, thread, create and run. That's all there is. Can they have it anywhere else? No, it doesn't like that either. Whoops, I bumped it, sorry. I don't think it's gonna know because the fact of the matter is this is all fresh, new data. Like, it's not gonna understand this if I ask ChatGPT. So this right here has this, but no one else does. So if I don't wanna create a new thread. All right, hold on, let's look at this again. Make sure I'm not crazy. How do it seems like something simple. Forget, I just need to add to the messages. Wait, messages.create? Maybe that's what I need. Hold on. So I go over here, that one's there. Come over here, I go threads.messages. I'm creating a new messages.create. Yeah, that's what I want. Thread ID, yeah, there we go. Like this, and then what I have. Roll. Yeah, ho, baby.
We did it! The son of a bitch did it!
That's what I want. What's going on with all this crap though? Yeah, I don't think I want this. Now did it say, do I need to update the thing? I go like this. I think I gotta create another run now. I think this should be inside anyway. Let's go like that. Yeah, I don't think that should be here. I think this should be gone. And we put the assistant ID instead. Like that. There we go, const here. I don't think we're changing that thing. Oh, we are. Yeah, just kidding, we are. So we want assistant ID here. Like that. Yeah, that way it doesn't have to run this thing here. It does create it. Okay, now let's try it. Try again. We create a new message. I think that's what we want on the thread. That makes sense. That makes sense. I like that. Okay. In progress. All right. In progress. In progress. Run, baby, run. So if it doesn't, it's going to come back here and ask me again if I don't say all done. Come on. Okay. I ask, what about API? Oh. Baby, I think we got it. I think we got it, baby. Come on, baby. Come on. Please.
Come on, baby. I need this.
Whew. That took a long time. Wait, what did it say? Oh, it failed? Wait, why didn't it keep going? It appears I've encountered information. APR. Does it have a link to me? Okay, so right here it says it's that. Link's right there. And it's in Appendix J, part 1206. So we're going to look at that one. I don't know what this is. This source, I can't click it. Let's go part 1026. 26? No? What about APR? Okay, I don't even know how to find it. Text, can I search all of it here? I want to make sure it's not making it up, right? That's our goal. If it's making it up, then we're all set. Also, Senate Bill number 666. Appendix J 12 CFR. Where's the appendix? Can I search? If I look at the bill PDF, open it. 1026. Okay, what about API? Can I search anything in this? 666. Okay, cool. So I can't find stuff. I hope I didn't make this up. Here's that encounter information from the New York disclosure law instead of California. Oh my gosh, you kidding me? Well, clearly I need to update my instructions, but you can see the idea here, right?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
You can build your own assistant. It can go through and help you do this kind of thing. Your users can interact with it, and then it can confer with those files and get you that data back. If this has been helpful at all, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, in the description, we have a place where you can sign up for our newsletter. Sign up for that newsletter and you can get access to this code. See ya.